Hello everyone, Ruby Ravel here in mermaid mode, ready to unravel some stars that might have some brine and bracken naughtily entangled in them. Now, I mentioned in yesterday's video about the fact that Mercury, Venus and Mars are all in a T-square to Neptune, and I would just like to explain what exactly that means. Now, Neptune is one of those tricky outer planets that governs the collective feeling, that governs the collective unconscious, that simmering garbage heap of the soul that we manage to keep repressed most of the time. But when Neptune is in a tough aspect, it's like all those emotions, all those feelings and strange sensations that we keep buried most of the time so that we can remain practical and clear-headed and productive, they suddenly all rise to the surface with this intense lunar pull that is very hard to ignore. So, for instance, in terms of being square to Mercury, that governs our thought processes, our ability to rationalize and see patterns in the world, and how we express those via communication, Neptune can very much make our minds feel as though they've become waterlogged, that our emotions are clouding our ability to see things clearly and make sane judgments. Our imaginations, our dreams, our thoughts, our yearnings, our disillusionments and disappointments, all of these things kind of act as a smokescreen that gets between us and actually seeing things as they are. Um, and that can definitely interfere with our social life in terms of we know we want to say something, but we don't always know what it is, and we don't always know the best way to convey it, and therefore sometimes what we do say ends up causing misunderstandings, miscommunications that can lead to conflict. Or because we feel so sensitive, instead we might feel the need to lie or to misdirect people away from how it is that we're truly feeling. There's that difficulty in letting our feelings come out and permitting ourselves to be vulnerable with other people, which is what this aspect needs to some degree. There has to be an awareness that you're not thinking clearly, and therefore this isn't necessarily the best time to make important decisions. And likewise, in the square to Mars, as Mars is also that part of us that wants to feel strong and capable, Neptune kind of makes us feel like we were striding confidently along the beach, in He-Man mode, and suddenly out of nowhere, the waters have all come in, we're up to our neck, and all of that strong, muscular swagger that we developed doesn't count for shit because we suddenly find ourselves out to sea and overwhelmed by these forces that are much bigger than us and which seem beyond our control. And it can be very easy to feel like the victim during Mars square Neptune aspects, to feel that life is alienating us and isolating us and neutering us and castrating us in some way. But what Neptune is good at is actually encouraging us to focus on those things that we usually ignore, to focus on our emotional well-being, to focus on our dreams and our imaginal world, to focus on art and compassion and spirituality and all of these wonderful things that we usually put to one side so that we can be productive. So the capacity for Neptune to really facilitate our ability to contact the other world, the psychic realms, the imaginal realms, the dream realms, is a real virtue. And if it seems like Neptune is getting in the way of us achieving our material aims, it could be because we need to focus on our spiritual aims instead. Anyway, that was all rushed. I hope that makes sense for my own Neptunian mercurial confusion. And if you have any questions, just please send me a message.